All right, good morning and welcome. So, today I wanted to take a moment to just talk about briefly before we get into our meditation about how concentration plays a key role in our successful meditation practice. If we look at Patanjali's Yoga Sutras and we look at the 8 limbs of yoga, we have Yama and Niyama as the first 2 limbs. And this is really how we show up and we live our lives in the world. Then we have asana, that is the position, the posture that we sit in to meditate. And so for us, sitting in front of a computer, typically we're in a chair. So we want to sit with the spine straight, with the chin parallel to the floor. I also like to feel my feet at a comfortable position so I feel stable and grounded. This is providing the structure, the foundation for our meditation. Then the 4th limb of yoga is pranayama, and this is what we'll do some breathing techniques. Prana is the life force in the body, and the breath, using the breath is a very efficient way to move prana, to move this energy throughout the body. And then from pranayama, we get to the 5th limb of yoga, which is pratyahara. Pratyahara is when our awareness has been redirected from flowing outward onto the world to inside, our inner environment. And so through the process of pranayama, we start to internalize, we start to disconnect. Yogananda called them the 5 sense telephones. So we start to hang up all the telephones so that we are completely internalized in pratyahara. And then when we get to dharana, which is concentration, concentration is when we're able to direct our mind and our attention fully into a single point. This is very important for meditation to occur. So when we practice our pranayama, it's very, very important to absorb the mind, completely saturate the mind. And we can use words, we can use images. There's a lot of ways that we can do this. But really, when we're like watching the breath or removing energy in the body, just absorb your full attention into the process. And as we do that, we start to direct the mind. We give the mind something to do instead of trying to chase our thoughts away and get frustrated in meditation. It becomes more productive when we assign the mind a task and we commit ourselves fully to that. So we'll work with dharana, we'll work with concentration, and then once our attention is narrowed down to the single pointed, in the sutras is called ekagrata, the single pointed focus. And when we're able to hold our attention there, this is when the 7th limb of yoga, dhyana, starts to occur. And dhyana is meditation proper. So everything we're doing up to the 7th limb of yoga is preparation. And so as we practice our meditation every day, we are honing our craft. We're getting better day by day. And this makes the 8th limb of yoga samadhi, which is oftentimes it feels very inaccessible. This will give us a systematic way to achieve or reach the pinnacle of our meditation practice, which is cognitive absorption in samadhi. And samadhi is where the transformation happens. In Sanskrit, it's called a parinama. So this is where parinama happens. This is where this falling away of what we're not really, really accelerates. So it's a wonderful thing to experience, and it's even more wonderful to have a step-by-step way to make this happen repeatedly. Okay, so with that in mind, we'll go ahead and begin our meditation. So let's just take a moment to just give ourselves permission to disengage from anything we might have been doing throughout the day, anything we might have been engaged in. Give ourselves permission to just take a break from life and to really focus all of our attention here, now, in the present moment. So I like to just sit for a minute and close my eyes and just notice and feel my body. To check in with myself and just see how I'm doing. I'm noticing the quality of my breath, noting if it's shallow and fast or if it's maybe slow and deep. Do I feel anxious or relaxed? Just where am I right now? I tune into my heartbeat. How is the heart beating? And then I try to tune into my nervous system. Do I feel on edge? Do I feel relaxed? Are my shoulders up around my ears, or have they relaxed back? I feel the muscles in my face. And if I notice any tension, I just give it permission to rest, to relax, to take it easy for a bit. I feel safe. There's nothing chasing me at the moment. So I just try to let all of this come into my awareness. And then turning our attention outside the body, noting any sounds that might be in your environment. And I like to just give them permission to be there, to not have to change anything. I invite any sounds or anything that I notice to just be a part of the experience as a manifestation of Om, the creative force, the creative vibration. And turning our attention back to the body, just feeling the feet on the floor and just noticing, how does it feel? Notice any temperature, any pressure, any sensation from the nerves in the feet. Bringing our attention up to the hands, just feeling and noticing the palms of the hands. And same thing, is there any pressure, temperature? There's a lot of energy in the hands and the feet. Just noticing and feeling. Try to notice something maybe you never noticed before, with curiosity. Curiosity plays an important role in our meditation as well. As the more curious we become, the more easy we're able to sink our awareness and our attention into this point of exploration. And turning our attention to just feeling the entirety of the body. Feeling the skin, noticing the ambient air around the skin, noticing the temperature, the texture, the slight subtle movements of the air possibly. Feeling the scalp. Noticing any tingling when you direct your awareness to the top of the head. feeling the body in the chair. And feeling where the chair is touching the body. Noticing the pressure, the weight, the density of the body. Noticing how this body, even with all of its quirks and its imperfections, provides a vehicle for us to have an embodied experience. Gives us mobility. It gives us the ability to perceive and to sense and to feel and to notice, to engage and interact with the physical world that's all around us. Just noticing how amazing that is. How the bones provide the structure for the flesh that gives us shape and form. Bringing our attention to the breath. Feeling the coolness of the air as it flows into the body through the nose. And turning our gaze up ever so gently and at ease to the spiritual eye center, that point between the eyebrows. Feeling the warmth, the moisture in the air as we release the breath through the nose. Noticing the difference between the incoming and the exhaling breath. Feeling and noticing the gentle rhythm of the breath, feeling the lungs expand, feeling the lungs contract as the diaphragm moves up and pushes air out of the lungs and down through the sinuses and out through the nostrils. Noticing the belly rise and fall. Absorbing our full attention into just watching and observing the breath. Let's do a couple more cycles of the breath, and then just let go of the breath and check in again. Notice what's the impact of just observing the breath, observing the body. What difference did it make in your state of being, your state of consciousness? our first pranayama technique this morning, we're going to do 12 rounds of alternate nostril breathing. And I count the 12 rounds on my left hand. So I place my thumb at the tip of my forefinger as a starting position. I take my right hand and I put my index, middle, and ring finger just right at that center point between the eyebrows. Then I have my thumb and my pinky finger that I can use to close the nostrils. So I'll use the thumb to close the right nostril, and I place it right where the cartilage meets the bone of the nose, so like, that midpoint of the nose. And I just very gently apply pressure. And then we inhale the breath through the left nostril to start. We close the left nostril with our pinky finger in the same position. We release the thumb and we exhale through the right nostril. We inhale the breath through the right nostril. Close the right nostril with the thumb, release the pinky, and exhale through the left side. So this is one round. Then I moved my thumb down to that first joint, down the finger, the index finger. Inhale the breath through the left nostril. Closing the left with the pinky, releasing the thumb, and exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right. Close with the thumb, release the pinky finger, and exhale through the left. That's two. I move my thumb on my left hand down to the next joint on the index finger. Inhaling the breath through the left nostril. Closing the left, releasing the right. Exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right. Closing the right nostril, releasing the left, and exhaling through the left. That's three. And I move my thumb to the tip of the middle finger, and I'll just count the same way. So 3 sections on 4 fingers equals 12. So when I get to the bottom of the pinky, I know we're finished. Inhaling through the left. Exhale through the right. Inhale through the right. Exhale through the left. Sinking our full attention into watching the breath. Moving the left thumb down the finger. Inhaling through the left. Exhaling through the right. Inhaling through the right. Exhaling through the left. Moving the finger down the left hand. Inhaling through the left. Exhaling through the right. Exhaling through the left. And there's 6. So we'll do the other 6 on our own and just try to lengthen the breath, make it longer, deeper, more relaxed, sinking your full attention into the process. And after you're finished, just let go of the breath and check in with yourself again. All right, and that's 12 for me. Now just sit and notice. This is a very effective technique to harmonize the left and right hemispheres of the brain. It's also a very quick way to access the parasympathetic nervous system that allows us to rest and repair. It's a very powerful technique to calm anxiety, to slow the system down, to create balance within the body and our consciousness. Now pulling our awareness deeper into the body, placing our attention at the base of the spine, using our imagination, feeling that area in the physical body. We're going to direct the breath into the Shushumna, which is the spinal pathway. So I like to imagine that the spine is like a straw, a hollow tube. And we're going to just gently inhale the breath slowly, as we just gently inhale and we're just pulling the breath up the spine. Up to the crown of the head or the spiritual eye, whichever you like. Just let it find its own way. And as we exhale the breath, we just watch and feel the breath as it flows down the spine, through the neck, behind the heart and lungs, down below the behind the stomach, flowing all the way down to the base of the spine. And then inhaling the breath, gently pulling, inviting the breath, feeling it in the spine, just completely absorbing yourself into the process. Just feeling the breath as it flows back up the spine. Slowly, gently, all the way to the top. And then just feeling that soothing sensation as the breath flows down the spine, creating this massaging effect. It's very wonderful. And so we'll go ahead and do this for 12 times, so you can count the same way on your left hand. And after we're finished, on the 12th inhalation, just pull that awareness up to the crown or the spiritual eye and hold your attention there and let go of the breath and just sit in the space that we created from our pranayama. And if you can, lengthen and slow the breath as long and slow as possible on each cycle of the breath up and down the spine. Giving your full awareness, your full absorption of the mind into the process, feeling, experiencing every detail. At the end of the exhale, just allow the body to settle, relax even deeper. And remembering on the last cycle of the breath to pull the inhalation up to the top of the spine, the crown of the head or the spiritual eye, and just let go of the breath, holding your attention in the higher brain centers. And just notice. Notice the stillness, the silence. Maybe there's a feeling of expansiveness. Just leaning into the experience as the observer, the seer, the consciousness that's behind the eyes and behind the ears. Leaning in with curiosity. letting go more fully, more completely, just letting go of the body, letting go of the mind, observing the experience and listening for the sound beneath the sound, the light behind the eyes, just fully surrendering, availing yourself to the experience, this growing spaciousness. And if it feels a little uncomfortable, that's good. It's an opportunity to relax, to release identification, and to merge your consciousness with and into the experience. See if you can access that next level of surrender, the next level of availing yourselves to the silence, to the infinite space within your consciousness, fully relaxed, fully engaged, completely present. Allowing this one-pointed concentration to flow into dhyana, to meditation. Imagine for a moment what it would be like to live your life from this state of being, completely relaxed, fully present and engaged, able to notice and access all the minute details of each moment, fully surrendered in God or a higher power of your understanding, merging your mind and consciousness with the intelligence that sustains and supports the entire universe. What would it be like to have this experience in the waking state, engaged in your work, engaged with your family, engaged in nature, engaged in listening deeply, intently, able to focus on the words that are being said and the message being conveyed. What would it be like to have all these options and more available to you all the time? And this is what our meditation practice brings into our life: the ability to focus, to concentrate, to be fully present, to not have to run and hide and avoid. Surrendering into the silence gives us the courage to meet the challenges that life provides for us, that are uniquely tailored to each of us to help us grow, to help us choose, to let go of our conditioned patterns of reactivity, fear, anxiety, and to step into a new experience, an integrated, complete version of our eternal selves, correcting the misidentification that we are our minds, our bodies, our personalities. Just take a moment to consider this in your contemplation. And it's at this stage in the process of meditation that our deepest questions are answered. Every longing and desire is fulfilled. Not from outside, but from inside. Let's give a moment of gratitude for the experience this morning, for the time we get to share together, to deepen our experience, to hone our craft. And let's allow this life force, this prana, this energy to flow back, to become alive in the body again. And I like to just imagine that this prana, this light, is flowing in through the crown, through the spiritual eye. It's waking up. It's invigorating every cell, every tissue, as it flows down through the brain and through the head and neck. As it flows through the upper back and down into the arms and hands and fingers. Feeling the warm vitality filling and flowing down through the chest, through the organs and the core of the body, flowing down through the hips, down into the legs, into the feet and the toes. And again, just feel the soles of your feet, feeling the legs, feeling the heaviness, the weight of the body in the chair, feeling the temperature and the pressure and the sensation in the palms of the hands. Hearing again the sounds of the environment around us, the cars in the distance, birds in the trees, just allowing it all to just come back online. And we'll chant Om once to complete our meditation. Before you open your eyes, just do your best today to carry this with you, this message. Allow your peace to emanate from your being and to create a positive ripple in the world. To just be a little more patient with people, be a little more patient in our cars, and just know that there's enough for everyone. And when you're ready, we can open our eyes and